Happy Wednesday. It is hump day. We are flying through the month of June. Hey, let's see. Tomorrow is the summer solstice. I guess that officially marks the beginning of summer. Tomorrow is the longest day of the year. Who would have thought that we are that far? But just in case you're wondering what it is, this is the Imperfect Action live stream of what you're watching. Who am I? I am Rob Fenstermaker, former corporate burnout survivor turned kingdom builder, your kingdom builder. What is a kingdom? What is your kingdom? You know, a kingdom is you living that life you want, that life of significance. I think that is so important, to live that life of significance. Stop chasing after success all the time, because it's a never-ending race. Start living for significance first, and success follows. Hey, what else have I got going? I've got the virtual Friday whiskey hour. Not this Friday, but next Friday. We open the doors at 4:50 p.m. Eastern time. We go live at 5 o'clock. It's a great opportunity to end your work week by having some meaningful conversation. We held it last Friday. What the conversation we had was about the different generations. I tied it around. We just come off the celebration of the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and I believe that is the greatest generation we've ever known. But each generation has something to provide, and we kind of discuss that. I also host the Iron Sharpens Iron community, which is every other Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and it's just an opportunity, again, to have some meaningful conversation as we bring people together. I also want to just go ahead and pitch as well. We'll get this. Oh, boy, goodness gracious, what is going on here? There we go. My mouse was not working all of a sudden. Tomorrow is the Polarizing Network, Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. My good friend Sajad hosts that network. Is something you might want to check out. But neither here nor there. Let's kind of go ahead and get into this on this Wednesday in June. I want to introduce my guest today, Lydia Sugarman. She is the CEO of Ventive. She is a problem solver who powers your B2B business solutions to work smarter. And who doesn't want to work smarter? Lydia, thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna pose a question to you here on this fabulous Wednesday. What fantastic things are going on in your world today?
I'm in air conditioning. I mean, it's.
I know you're in upstate New York, so I know you're getting a bit of a heat wave up there. Correct?
Yeah, it's 90 here, which
90.
That doesn't seem like that hot. But when you have high humidity and
well, I agree. I hear you. Let me see what I'm down in South Florida. Let me see what the temperature is down here right now. What is the temperature? Well, it's 90 degrees here. So hey, I'm in South Florida. You're in upstate New York, so we're sharing the same temperature today, 90 degrees.
Exactly, but you probably it's several percentage points more humid.
Just a little bit. You know, I call this time of the year in South Florida swamp ass weather, because by the end of the day your ass feels like a swamp.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I've had some great meetings. I've had a couple of breakthroughs in thinking about how I'm going forward with the business, taking the business forward, and now I just need to put it into action.
Yeah, those meetings are important. You know, we if you're going to have a business, I mean, those meetings are part of a business, and you got to get. Sometimes you got to get in front of those people that. Well, and they'll let you go ahead. I mean, you want to be in front of those people that that bring value to the call, and you bring value to the call. And I think that's something that's so important about having those conversations. I mean, the conversation some people have, well, I just want to, see how we can collaborate. And shit.
Oh,
there's Andrew, Swamp Keister, yes. And you shared with me before, you and Andrew, you've known Andrew. I wasn't aware that you and Andrew had something going on here. You have a podcast together.
We do.
Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We call BS every Friday on.
You call BS.
On one topic or another, and we stay in the business realm. We've talked about pitch slapping, and cold emailing, and cold calling, integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we talked about shitty the job search is these days, and
Yeah.
I mean, there are flagrant examples of age discrimination, but
Oh yeah.
trying to
I
prove
agree.
it, trying to prove
You
it is
can't.
something else again. People who are completely qualified beyond words for a job are told that they don't meet job qualifications, and
Hmm.
there's no reason beyond the fact that they might be over 50
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
even over 40.
I agree. I've been through three corporate downsizings. My last one was in the heart of the pandemic. I was 58 at that point in time, and I'm just like, as a white man in his 50s, I had to face some reality. I wasn't going to get what I wanted unless I wanted to get some kind of crappy, uh, position, and even then, I probably would have been overqualified for it. And so,
Exactly.
well, yeah. So that's when
They're
I
not
decided, hey, it's time to embark on my own thing here.
Yeah, they're not going to hire you for those jobs that you would be more than willing to do, that you would perform excellently because you're overqualified, and they think that they have to pay you more, or you're going to leave, or yeah, snake oil. There's a lot of snake oil examples out there in the world these days too.
Yeah. Give me a snake oil example. Something that really chaps you when you see this. You're like, yeah.
Oh,
Give me your
we're going to 10x your revenue in 60 days. You know,
10x. Yes.
the
Yeah.
the lead the all of the lead gen come-ons are just bullshit.
Hmm.
They deserve the full treatment of the word, not just the abbreviation BS. It's just, you know you're going to 10x my revenue in 60 days. Well, you don't know what my revenue is now.
Yeah.
You don't know what my business is. You don't know what
Yeah.
challenges I'm facing. You don't know anything, but you're gonna jam a square peg into a round hole
Right.
and 10x my revenue
Yeah. Yeah.
after I
The
paid
one that
after I
yeah the
paid
one that always
thousands.
the one that cracks me up that I haven't seen it in a while. I used to get it all the time, and they probably have gone away because they realize how ridiculous they look. Is you get the kid who's been out of college 2 years, and they're going to tell you how to be making six figures in 2 months if you follow their foolproof plan. Okay, come on, come on.
Yeah. Well, that's like the other day, somebody was telling me about how Um, oh, she is a CMO with multiple advanced degrees, including a PhD in organizational development, and she met with
Okay.
this 20-year-old kid who is charging his clients $5,000 to place Facebook ads, for which they also pay for lead generation. And one of his customers was a police athletic league summer camp that couldn't get registrations for $240 a
Okay.
session. So
Yeah.
he was saying, "Yeah, we got 11 leads at $4.67 each, and they got one new camper for $240. That's a great ROI." Excuse me. How about that $5,000? That
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
that you know
Yeah.
the actual ROI is 0.0001%. He
Maybe
had
for some people that's an amazing number. Who knows? So
but he honestly, he's so he's so clueless about the business
yeah.
that he actually thought that was ROI.
Yeah, yeah. You know what he's doing? He's just reading off a script that somebody had gave him. That's it. He's just reading off a script. He's not thinking. He's just reading. And I mean, yeah, that's one thing that you can see it when you call a lot of these call centers. They're just literally reading off a script.
Right.
And I get it. You're bringing some 19, 20-year-old in who maybe this is their first job they've ever had, and they're just trying to get things figured out. And you put that script in front of them, and it's just kind of a boilerplate thing, and just crank them out and see who can succeed and who can do well. And they're just looking for an opportunity. I get it, but I don't
I
know.
think I got to give this kid credit because he literally said, "I have no idea what I'm doing. Will you teach me?" To my
There you
friend. She's
go.
like,
Yeah.
"Well,
Yeah.
you have to pay me for
Yeah.
that."
That's it. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And
his girlfriend's parents didn't want her to date him because he was not gonna. He had decided he wasn't gonna go to college. So they,
here's the thing. I mean, I went to college, but I realized college is not for everybody. One thing that always drove me nuts when my children were in high school. And we were in a pretty good school district. It was always rated in the top 1 or 2% of school districts around the country. So, I mean, when you're in one of these school districts, there's a reason you're in that school district. And when you get your property tax at the end of the year, you understand why you're in the school district. That's it. But you would go to these parent teacher meetings, and these teachers, the administrators, all they talk about, we're getting all these kids into college and blah, blah, blah. And, two questions were raised to me. Well, one, how many of these kids are actually succeeding in college? And two, college is not for everybody because we still need bricklayers, we need auto mechanics, we need plumbers, we need carpenters to make this whole thing work. What are you doing for that child that wants to go into a technical career or a vocational career? How are you serving them? And I think we're seeing a pushback.
and you froze.
Oops. I'm like I said, like I
Yeah,
shared with you before we started, there's getting some weather coming through, and I'm getting a little
yeah,
funky here right now. Getting a little funky here. But Andrew had shared with me right one of the things we have right now is the tool belt generation, where
yeah.
kids, these 19, 20, early 20-year-olds, they're exploring, well, maybe college isn't for me. Maybe I want to learn that trade. And I think there's a lot of benefit in that.
I think there's always been respect for people in the trades, but there's a
Yeah,
newfound respect for
there
that.
is.
And the thing, yeah, I mean, college for the most part, you know this as well as I do. Unless you're majoring in some very specific
Mhm.
field, accounting, real business administration,
Yeah,
law, pre med,
yeah,
engineering. I mean, I majored in biological sciences and minored in history and philosophy because I thought I was going to be a corporate wife. It didn't work out that way,
yeah,
but you learn depending on where you go to school. I mean, those are the people that you're going to likely interact with the rest of your life, that you're going to do
yeah.
business with.
I agree.
You learn how to you learn how to uh, interact with people. You learn how to socialize. You learn
Hmm.
those basic uh, uh, skills of
Yeah,
communication. Um,
yeah, I agree.
I think what's been missing in this country, and we all and Americans always look down on the European system of pigeonholing kids at a very early stage, taking exams and fast tracking them either to a trade or to college. uh,
Or 3D ancient Greek basket weaving.
yeah,
That's one of the issues I have with these colleges is that I'll even push back on you on law school, and I know I'm probably going to piss a lot of lawyers off about this. What's the need to go to? All you should be able to do is pass a bar exam. If I can pass a bar exam, I should be able to be a lawyer. There should be
right.
no need. Now, medical school, I get, but why do I have to go to law school if I could literally pass the bar exam?
Well, that's it. I mean, that was the argument of that of in Suits, the guy with the photographic memory who
Yeah.
lied his way into. I can't think of the character's name. It doesn't.
I've
Somebody
never, I've never sure you're talking about. I've never seen the show. I know a lot of people talk about it. I
loved
may
it.
have to check it out. My wife and I are always looking for new shows. We just finished season 2 of The Bear. Are you watching The Bear at all?
Yeah, I'm kind of halfway through season 2 of The Bear.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Uh,
one of those things you really got to stick with because there's some episodes it gets real like, oh my goodness, how am I going to make it through this episode? This is driving me nuts. But we got through season two. Season three drops, I think, next
yeah.
Friday or next Thursday. It drops. So
Well, I will tell you this. My son is an executive chef at a country
okay,
club in Westchester. He has 20 years of experience in restaurants in Manhattan.
yeah,
And my daughter-in-law is a pastry chef and
okay,
also lots of Manhattan restaurant experience, country club experience, Winged Foot. A lot of people might recognize the name of that country club.
yeah.
And
Wingfoot.
they,
They played the U.S. Open there before. We just had the U.S. Open. They play it there every
yeah,
few years. So
yeah. And they said the bear is so accurate.
yes, I can believe it. I can
Yeah,
believe it. I,
there's a
I
lot
can
of
believe it.
there's a lot of drama in the kitchen. Uh,
I'm sure there is. The better the restaurant and the more, they're trying to create that, what's the word I'm looking for? That
experience.
experience. My wife and I, we becoming very experiential in what we want to do. As far as, the trips we want to take, the things we want to do. And, creating that experience for people is amazing. And we've had the opportunity to dine in some, Michelin star rated restaurants. And it is an experience. It's one of those things, if you've ever had the opportunity to do it, you have to do it. You got to do it at least once. You got to do it at least once because there's something
Oh,
about it. So,
well, oh, I mean, and the more Michelin stars they have, the more your food has been handled. The more hands have touched your food.
more hands. Oh, that's okay. I know that probably makes a lot of sense. That certainly makes a lot of sense. That
Um,
makes a lot of sense.
but there is like a four-seat ramen restaurant in Tokyo and that got a Michelin star this year. I think that
Yeah.
it's if that's not a completely accurate, it's close, maybe 9 seats,
Yeah.
but it's like a ramen bar in Tokyo
Oh, yeah.
got a
Yeah.
Michelin star.
I can believe it. And these Michelin stars, they are so, I mean, there have been chefs that have lost their Michelin star and
Yeah.
literally taken their life over that. You're like, good grief. All right. All right. All right. Well, let's get to where we're at here. So I know you are an effective online networker, and I have been to some very good networking events. I have been to some very bad networking events. I've met some great people networking. I met some people. I'm like, why am I on this call with this person? Because they're just. So let's kind of go through what when I use that term, effective online networking. I mean, what do you look for when you're really looking to network online?
I've gotten really picky. Uh, I only, I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, I everybody was networking online because
Yeah.
we didn't know what else to do with ourselves. And I actually paid for membership in a networking organization that summer for a year. And I spent countless hours and I got zero results. Um,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be for B2B companies and it was supposed to be selling through the room and not to the room.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, the biggest the biggest problem everybody wants to feel good about making introductions and they're always making introductions to somebody who can make an introduction for you. And you never
Right.
and it's like just fucking introduce me into a company that you've had a relationship with and I'll take it
Yeah.
from there. Just say this is somebody that I think you should know or get
Hmm.
acquainted with. It's real easy. I think people overthink it. How well do you have to know me before you are comfortable making that kind of an introduction?
Yeah.
Obviously, in that organization, a year wasn't long enough. I did not
Hmm.
renew. Um, I think so. The two networking groups I'm in now are really small, and they are, for me, they're B2B.
Yeah.
Every person is interviewed before they can join, before they're
Okay.
invited to join. So there's minimal overlap. There's a
Hmm.
level of professionalism and and regard and respect for each other, um, and what we do. And because we've
Yeah.
all been interviewed by the organizer, there's a trust element already present.
Hmm.
Uh, there's no, yeah, and I
Yeah.
successful networking groups, there has, you can't just welcome everybody. I mean, I sell to companies from 5 to 100 people.
Okay.
Very sophisticated but easy to use business software. Uh,
Hmm.
to put me in a group with life coaches is not
Hmm.
necessarily going to work. Business coaches, yeah. Business
Yeah.
consultants, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Andrew poses a good question here. Is it about sharing a contact, introducing somebody, or making a recommendation?
yes,
Yes to all. Okay, yeah, I mean it is. And it's I think about back in the day. When I got out of college back in the early '90s, and I'd go to networking events, and you put on your best shirt, best tie, best jacket, and have your resume in hand. You go out and grease some palms and meet some people. Uh, I think about a couple of the positions I was able to get. And it wasn't necessarily the hiring manager or the person I was the hiring. It was I was going to somebody, maybe an admin assistant. I would connect with them and just talk with them, and just kind of introduce myself to them, and make certain they had my information. Is this something that aligns with your organization? Oh yeah, I absolutely can. And I remember one position in particular. That's exactly how I got the job. Just went to somebody who was not in the position to hire, but she at least got me that person to get in front of, to have the opportunity to have that interview with them, which eventually landed me the position. And it should be the same one, I would, the same idea still applies in online networking. Maybe you're talking to your potential client, or maybe you're talking to somebody who knows your potential client.
hmm. Well, and I think, I mean, there's a, what was I going to say? It's, I, like I said, everybody knows why we're there. We're there
Yeah,
to broad, we're there to meet people who know potential prospects for what we do.
right.
It, and there are a lot of people who are very disingenuous about that. And I've
Hmm.
actually had, it's like, why are you here? And it's like, I'm here to, be in to broaden my network and sell CRM. And it's like, oh well. And it was almost like it was I was being insulting, being so upfront about why I'm investing an hour of my time on this
Yeah.
Zoom. I'm here to do business.
Yeah. Which could get leads me into another. We kind of talked about it before with your and Andrew's podcast. Pitch slap. People, the word pitch slap. That's but I got a little bit different take on it. My pitch
Yes,
is
Doug.
me articulating what I do, and I've got to share that information with somebody if I'm talking to them, to let them know what I do. Because if they don't know what I do, how can they, like, say, okay, yeah, I'd be a client, or hey, I know my friend over here, he would be a client. um, uh, I know you kind of said one of your episodes on no BS was about pitch slap.
Yeah.
Give me your take on that.
Okay. But for Doug, yeah, that is selling through the room. That's, you have colleagues, business colleagues. Maybe it's, I mean, BNI is an example of a very successful networking organization where you're not where people make referrals of potential customers. That's selling through
Hmm.
the room. You're not there to sell to the people who are sitting around the breakfast table in the diner at the weekly meeting. Um,
Yeah.
pitch slap. Pitch slap is uh, those DMs you get when you accept a request to
Oh
connect
yeah.
and you don't research them first to see if there's a match. Are they are they any way related to your ICP or a
Hmm.
persona of your ICP? If not, it doesn't make sense to connect with them. But you're feeling magnanimous and you say yes, and the first DM you get, direct message you get, is this 12-inch long message about what they do and how great they are, and it's like, I can 10x your revenue in 60 days kind of.
Yeah.
uh, it's a pitch slap without any preamble.
Yeah.
It's there are expressions for that, but yeah, no, mm, they want to skip the dating and go straight to the honeymoon.
Skip the dating and go straight to the honeymoon. Yes. I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that one. I say there's nothing new under the sun, and I'm gonna have to steal that one. And it's a lot of what I say. You know what, I've gotten from other people. So I have very few original ideas. So I will freely admit
Oh, be
a
my
lot
guest.
of what yeah,
I
I will
just
freely admit a lot of what I say I've gotten from other people.
I just made that up because the other express you probably know the other expression. It's a lot.
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
know, I know what it is. I know where we're going with that, but
So anyway,
but
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, if we're in this digital world, I mean, make the most out of, and one thing that I've never understood when I go on some of these Zoom networking calls, the people that just have their camera off and their microphone off the whole time, then why are you wasting your time on that? Just to say, hey, I was there. Well, were you there? Or were you?
That's yeah. I don't connect if it's some. That's an immediate ignore connection request when
Yeah,
there's no picture with the
yeah,
profile. I'm out of there. That's a no. Yeah. Oh, the other thing that I find is really offensive: people eating in a Zoom. Nobody
yeah,
nobody looks good on camera eating.
yeah. Yeah, I actually, I was on a 4 hour call over the weekend. I did have
Oh,
to eat, and I was very subtle about it. Just kind of, I just ate a real quick sandwich while I was, listening, but I was engaged with the conversation as best I could. But 4 hours was a little long. I had to get something in my stomach. I hadn't
yeah.
eaten all day, and I had to get something in my stomach. But yeah, if you're on a 1 hour Zoom call, I mean, just wait till the call's over, or just shove it in before you get on the call. I
Well,
agree with you.
you can close your camera. You can stop your camera and put in
Yeah.
the chat, say, I really need some food, but I don't want you to have to watch me eat chew. So there
Yeah.
there are all kinds of workarounds. But yeah, good grief, 4 hours.
It was for no, but there were breaks. There were breaks. And it was an organization I'm a part of. I don't want to say it's a networking group. It's a men's organization, and we have a 4 hour Saturday call, and I enjoy it. They bring people on. We have different breakout rooms, and there's always some interesting conversation. So that's why I do it. And I've got made some great connections. I've learned some great information through these Saturday calls. So yeah,
That's a huge commitment, man.
it is a big commitment. I'll give you that. But it just kind of fits right in that part of my Saturday morning where it works out best. I can
That's
get
good.
up and go do what I'm going to do first thing in the morning, and mid morning it's there, and then by the time it's done, I'm ready to go out and do whatever needs done for that day. So it just kind of works perfect into my schedule. So
I think I'd
it's
have
just
to
kind of,
check.
I'm smart about it. But some people need to be smart about working their business. Make your business work smarter. And I think everybody wants to work smarter and not harder. Some people wear, the idea I've worked so hard as a badge of honor. What did you get done? What exactly did you get done? Explain it. And
Uh,
I had to go through that learning curve myself.
um, you know, I trying to. Okay, this is something came out that came as a result of all of the networking Zooms where you have to summarize your business in as few words. Some of them is three words to describe your business. And it's like a lot of people can't count, but
Yes, that's fun. You say that. There was a meeting I went to the other day. It's probably what you're referring to. Describe your business in 3 words, and I laugh at people. They're like they give me like 15 words, and I'm kind of dropping in the chat. Well, I guess you can format in 3 words, but
well, that's yeah. Back to the network. People who the ground rules will be really clear, and they just choose to ignore them,
yeah,
and nobody interrupts them. I
yeah,
I
yeah.
went to Catholic school.
And, and, it, and it makes you look like an idiot. It does make you look like an idiot. I'm sorry, I use that word, but it makes you look like an idiot. I mean,
Okay.
you have these whatever that out there, and you're making it about yourself. Just do kind of what we asked you to do.
Or if
It's very simple.
you can't follow these simple directions, why would I ever want to do business with you?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of tough, but not really. Um,
Well,
but
you got to be, but you have to be. The one thing I'll tell you, the one thing that drives me nuts, drives me nuts. I'll go to a networking meeting, and I'm pretty active at it, and I'll get maybe a couple people to jump on my calendar, and it just pisses me off when someone jumps on my calendar, and I spend a good 30 to 40 minutes getting ready for each call because I want to know who I'm talking to. I want to know, and they don't show up. That is just the most rude thing you can do. And I get
oh,
life happens, but to not even just kind of reach out to me and say, hey, I got to go pick up my kid at school. Something happened. Nothing. Just crickets. And you've taken my time away from me, and you've done that to me. That pisses me off.
that was one of our episodes on We Call BS is respecting people's time. Uh, the thanks, Lily. The other thing about respecting time, all of these webinars that you get there on time because it's
Yeah.
on your calendar, and they're
Yes.
like,
I
well,
know. I know where you're going with this.
we're going to wait a few more minutes for
Yeah.
stragglers. And
Yeah.
what's your first name and where are you from? And hi, so it's
Yeah.
and you're 10 minutes into the time slot and they haven't started talking yet. And then you get the intro and it's just like, you know, respect my time. It remember
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe if you experienced this in college where there were certain professors, if you weren't in the room on time for the
Mhm.
lecture, you didn't get in because the doors were
Oh,
locked.
100%. Yep.
And
I had those.
I think there should be more webinars like that. And if you
Yeah. I
register,
agree.
you can get the recording, but it starts on time, it ends on time, and you come in or not. And if you've missed it, you've missed it. But you
Yeah.
can get the recording. Anyway, yeah,
I agree. I agree with that because I host my own community. The Virtual Friday Whiskey Hour. I open those Zoom doors at 4:50 for just that very reason. People want to just shoot the shit and just kind of chit chat a little bit. Great. 5 o'clock. If you're there, we're starting. If you're not, hey, it sucks to be you, but I'm starting at 5 o'clock. I mean, I'll let you in later, but I'm not waiting for you. I told you 5 o'clock. We start at 5 o'clock, and I have so much respect when I go to those meetings. They say 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever it is that they start. I go to a meeting and it's like, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Come on, let's go. But yeah, yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, time. Uh, oh,
yes. We're
breakout
speaking Lily's language here, so
breakout rooms in networking events where it's like, okay, we have 6 people and we have 9 minutes, so everybody gets a minute and 30 seconds, and you've got somebody who doesn't know when to be quiet. I got to the
yeah,
point where I was like, okay, I have the timer set up and I will let you know when your time's up, and and it'll be
yeah,
so the next person can speak. Make your business work smarter. So that I was trying to find a way to describe Ventive in plain language that would make sense and resonate. And I realized one day I was realizing that so many people blame themselves
Hmm.
for issues they may have with their business not functioning well or functioning efficiently, or they have people telling them if they would just fix this about themselves or that about themselves, that they would be so much more successful. And we come from the premise that if you can make your business work smarter, then you
Hmm.
get to be work smarter. And that's what Ventive is. It is a complete soup to nuts business solution for building and managing your business, marketing,
Hmm.
sales, customer success and support, operations, everything. And it
Yeah.
scales from small businesses, from startups up to enterprise. Um, Pricing is published.
Yeah.
Customization's all no code customization. Anybody can customize their Ventive account. Every account includes every feature. So, you know, we level the playing field for the little guy and say when your business starts growing and scaling, you're not going to say one day, oh shit, we've outgrown what we're using. We've got to start looking at other software uh, that's going to support growth. It's already built in.
Yeah.
So it makes
Yeah.
your business work smarter.
Works business works smarter. So, what was your impetus to start this? I mean, other than you found a you saw something there, you saw a need. What really kind of led you to go down this path to really lean into this space?
I couldn't get an interview. Uh,
That
serious,
works. That happens.
seriously, I moved into the online space in '95. I was selling syndicated television programming in New York, and it
Hmm.
really wasn't fun anymore. And really wasn't fun. And I was just absolutely mesmerized by online. It was just the World Wide Web then. I was fascinated by the power of email, and
Hmm.
um, so 5 years forward, .com 1.0 implodes, and I sent out 100 resumes. 5 years experience. I couldn't get an interview. So I was like, I need a plan B, and I love emails, so I'll be an email marketing consultant. Nobody knew they needed that in January 2001, but
Yeah.
so I started evaluating different all of the email marketing apps, the ESPs that were popping up like mushrooms, and with an idea toward building my own. And then I found out how many millions it was going to cost, and I found one solution provider that I partnered with. We're still partnered after all of these years. Ventive is my brand. It's my take on that technology
Yeah.
in terms of positioning. And I still get excited about email every day.
So, how effective? I mean, is email marketing still one of the most effective ways to market yourself?
Absolutely, all over again.
Okay.
All over again. People have been predicting the death of email for the last 20 years.
Hmm.
And and back in I think 2003, uh, it was research showed that for every dollar invested in email marketing, you got a return of over $47.
Okay.
Today, even though the pricing model has shifted, it's still for every dollar invested, you should be able to realize $40 plus.
Okay. Okay. And what are some rules of thumb you would give to somebody as they kind of I have my own I have my own email marketing that I do. What are just maybe some rules of thumb that I should consider as I'm putting my information out, putting it together?
Shorter is better.
Okay.
Uh, and, and you know the And that's not a hard and fast rule. It depends on the type of email it is. Uh, but generally, uh, shorter is better with links to longer articles. Give
Okay.
and that kind of goes back to early days of email newsletters when you would have a teaser with the more link,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's back there again, only with fewer words. So, and when you're writing an email, edit and then come back and edit again. Um,
Okay.
you don't have to have images in your emails. The emails that perform best are the ones that look like text.
Really? Okay. All right.
Um, be sure to have all of your settings, DKIM, SPF, DMARC settings set up properly. If you're using something like Ventive, it would be great if we do this. Um, you can. It's one setting for everything to come out as a first-party cookie, which
Hmm.
also uh, makes deliverability uh, better. Yes, choosing the right technology.
Yeah, so I mean, there's so much technology out there, and AI just seems like every day there's some new AI bot coming out to help you 10x your business. So,
Yeah,
as we're seeing all this stuff coming at us, I mean, how do we determine what's best for our business, what's best for what we want to do?
well, eh, what works for you? I mean, Ventive isn't necessarily the right technology uh, for everybody.
Hmm.
Uh, and so you've got to choose what's right for you. But I mean, yeah, I'm prejudiced. I think for it's not necessarily if your business is more about newsletters
Hmm.
and blogs, um, something like Substack or ConvertKit
Okay.
is going
Yeah.
to work better for you. But other than that, if you really want to bring everything under one roof, there isn't anything as good as Ventive. There really isn't. Um, you can send invoices, you can build surveys, you can send contracts, you can. I mean, these are you would normally think, oh, I'll have an email marketing app and I'll have a sales app and then I'll have DocuSign and SurveyMonkey and Zendesk and those all go away.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's what works for you and talking to a consultant that you can trust to give you the right advice. I'm not
Hmm.
really, I think you can tell I'm not always going to say, oh, hey, we're going to jam this square peg inventive into the round hole of your business. That's not, I've learned over the years that it's not always the right answer, but generally it is.
There it is. So, I mean, is there a good size of business that would benefit most from engaging Ventive and helping them with their CRM?
I say five and up. Uh,
Okay.
this Phoenix, Arizona uses this technology, but
Really?
for
Okay.
yeah, it is enterprise. It does scale to enterprise, but when the five is good because hopefully you're moving off of spreadsheets, and
Hmm.
the sooner you move off of spreadsheets, so that you can manage your data, so that your data is all in one place. That's probably biggest the biggest, most important aspect of Ventive is having all of your data in one place. Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
everything,
Yes. Yes.
everything about your business, everything about every contact that you engage with for your business, it's all there. And
Hmm.
you can have unlimited custom user fields. So it doesn't matter what your business is. It matters what your processes and systems are. And you know, that's what you need to think about before you start customizing a technology instance like this? How does your
Yeah.
business work? Well, we
Yeah.
do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and you map
Yeah.
that out, and then it becomes easy.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have to ask because you were a farm girl from Kentucky who got into the tech world. How did that happen? How did that epiphany happen?
Oh, geez. I mean, yeah, I loved growing up on the farm. I worked really
Hmm.
hard. I've learned over the years. My dad was an incredible entrepreneurial example, or yeah, model.
Yeah.
Um, and my mother too. Um, but I never felt like I was in the right place. I
Hmm.
always, from the time I was 8 years old, I wanted to live in New York,
Okay.
and, and I finally made it. I was recruited. I was selling insurance and tax sheltered investments in Charlotte, and I was recruited by a tax shelter syndication company in New York, and they moved me
Yeah.
there, and the job was shitty, and, but it got me to New York,
Get you to New
and
York.
I've always been in sales, and so I actually landed in the travel business. I was a travel uh, consultant for 7.5 years,
Okay.
then and then I did placement on Wall Street for 3 years, and
Ah,
then I remarried, and that kind of landed me in the entertainment industry,
okay.
which I was selling syndicated television programming, and that's when I saw my first email in 1992, and it was just like, oh, this is magic. And then I saw this company that had technology in 1995 for full screen video streaming
Yeah.
in 1995, and I was looking thinking about how that could work in program syndication sales instead of
Okay.
sending videotapes. That, thinking way too far ahead, but I just kind of, I'm a lifelong student. I love
But you're a
learning new things.
visionary. You're a visionary, and visionaries change the world. Visionaries change the way we do things, and I mean we need because visionaries are leaders. You know, when you have a clarity around that vision, you're a leader. You're a leader at that point.
Or an
I've only
outcast.
been to I've only been to New York once in my life, and my wife goes all the time. Her office is she has an office in Manhattan, so she gets up there quite a bit. Oh, I've only been once in my life, and there's a picture of us standing on Liberty Island. The Twin Towers are still there. That's how long it's ago. And I share people my first 24 hours in New York, and they're like, "Really?" So yeah, I'm walking into the Marriott Marquis in Times Square. And I kind of bend over to grab something, and someone bumps into me, and I trip over my suitcase. They help me up. It's Joe Montana. All right, so I pick up my suitcase and I go to the front desk to check in. I look over to my right. There's Shaquille O'Neal standing right next to me, checking in at the Marriott Marquis. So later that day, my wife and I we decide we're going to go to Central Park, and so when you had the old video camcorders you like this, and I'm just kind
Yeah,
of being I'm being Mr. Tourist and just videoing everything, and I'm like this, and I suddenly see someone walking towards me. It's Woody Allen. He was with that young Asian girl that he got in so
his
much
wife.
trouble with. And I'm just like I'm like following him like this, and he kind of got saw me out of the corner of his eye, and he did a quick right. And I tell people that story, and they're like, "No, I've lived in New York my entire life, and I've never seen anybody famous. You've been there for 24 hours. You saw all these people." I'm like, I don't know. I can't explain it. So
It just, I mean, I met a lot of celebrities,
yeah,
hung out with a few. Um, yeah, it just depends on, and those were a lot of incredible accidents of circumstance, but it really can be that easy. I
oh,
remember
yeah, yeah.
I remember being at ABC No Rio in the East Village on Third between B and C, waiting for a play reading, and I'm sitting at the bar, and I turned to the woman 2 seats away from me and asked her to hand me a napkin, and it was Uma Thurman.
And and I've seen, I've had these brushes with greatness before. Is what I call them. And you know what? They're just normal people. They just happen to be in whatever profession that they've got more notoriety. They're no really, for the most part, the people I've met, they're no different than
Yeah.
anybody else. But they're just, you know,
Uh,
they're just people. They're just people.
Vin Diesel still owes me $600.
Really? Okay. Well, this is a story I got to hear now.
I produced his first short. He wrote a short called Multifacial, and it was
Okay.
autobiographical. And my girlfriend and I were standing in the lobby after screening at a director's thing, and he overheard us talking, and he walked up and he said, "Would you read my script?" And I was like, "How many pages is it?" That matters. It was 13 pages. And I
Okay.
said, "Yeah, I'll read it." And when we met, I'm like, "Well, number one, this is more of an outline than it is a script, and but it's the
Yeah.
story is really good, and will you help me do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that's what we did, and he basically he I have to say he was an incredible actor
Yeah.
from the beginning. It blew me away, and I he used it as a calling card when he went to LA. But he
Okay.
owes money.
Goes your money. Okay, so Vin, if you're out there listening to this, you owe Lydia $600. I'm sure he'll get that check to you right away. So, but if Vin needs to reach out to you, he can reach you here. Just get you in contact with you and make arrangements to get that $600 to you that he owes you
With interest.
with
With it,
interest. Yes, they've got to charge some interest on that. Absolutely. So yeah, he's getting a deal if he's only has to pay $600. We got to charge some
yeah,
interest on that. So
yeah. I was petty cash for that production. I took it out of one pocket and put it into the other pocket, and it was. It, I mean, it was independent filmmaking. Uh, guerrilla filmmaking over a weekend.
yeah. Yeah, and there's so many opportunities, like you mentioned that, of things that we have at our disposal right now because of the way we've progressed with technology, and these big movie studios are. I mean, some of them are going by the wayside, and the best stuff that is on that you watch right now is being streamed anyways.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I can't remember the last time I watched a show on regular television because most of them suck. The good stuff's on the streaming services anyway. So, and all you got to do is watch the award shows, which I don't watch because I cannot stand award shows. But I know the shows that are winning all the awards are the shows like The Bear, Succession, Mad Men. Those are the
yeah.
shows that won multiple awards for what they put out. So
Oh, Succession
just
was
saying.
powerful.
Oh,
Uh,
that was a great show. That was a great show. That
great.
was a fantastic show. Yeah, I liked it. But my favorite though was Mad Men. I've always just loved that show. The character of Don Draper, that is probably one of the greatest fictional characters. Although it's not necessarily a fictional character. He's based there's some truth based on who it is, but the character of Don Draper
David
by John
Ogilvy,
Hamm, that is
wasn't it?
one of the best characters in acting, I think.
Was it David Ogilvy that they
I,
patterned him after? I don't know.
it could be. I don't know. It was somebody within the advertising industry. I don't know. I've read a couple of stories that they attributed somebody. I can't remember who it was, but his life very much paralleled the life of Don Draper.
Yeah, I've got to go back and watch that. And I didn't watch the last two seasons. So, yeah. As soon as I
Yeah,
finished watching Perfect Match on Netflix, I'm
yeah.
into I'm into
But if
summer
you didn't,
total junk
yeah,
reality
hey,
TV.
I have these theories on how Mad Men ended. That Don Draper was the impetus for the famous Coca-Cola commercial.
Oh, okay.
So if you'll see it, if you watch the last two seasons, in particular the final episode, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay. I'll
So
have to
yeah,
I'll have to do that. I'll have to do
yes.
that. Um, so what were we talking about before? Um,
We were talking about Vin Diesel owing you $600.
and yeah, choosing the right technology.
Yeah.
Um, it, you know, it's what works for you.
Yeah.
My, you know, I want to make it easy. Like I said, I want to level the playing field for small businesses. The tiered pricing based on features I is BS.
Yeah.
That's why you know somebody starting out with under 1,000 contacts and investing $150 a month is
Yeah.
getting all the firepower of a enterprise company spending tens of thousands of dollars a month, and they should have that so that it enables them to build and to manage and grow their businesses.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's I've always been a champion of the underdog.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would, yeah, because that to me, that's pure capitalism. Is that the idea of what capitalism is about is you have an idea, you launch it, you start it, and you reap the fruits of your labor. And capitalism is a dirty word for a lot of people, but we don't really practice capitalism anymore. We practice what I call corporatism or
Yeah.
crony capitalism. Not to go on a political rant here, but this idea of what a perfect capitalistic society is supposed to look like. We are so far removed from that. But
Thank you,
I
Reagan.
guess that's
But trickle down economics is such a myth.
I mean, I think it really became apparent during 2020 when we saw that we got to save these corporations because they're too big to fail while we kick small business to the curb.
Mm,
Just saying.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying.
I don't know what would have happened if they had let them fail, considering it was, they didn't have to save all of them.
No,
Uh,
they didn't. They didn't.
uh,
They didn't. They didn't.
I mean, here's a pet peeve, and I call BS on. Research shows that prospective buyers will do 70% or 70% of the way toward making a decision from doing online research and visiting your website before you ever get to talk to them. And yet, you see all of these websites with pricing up in the top navigation, and you
Yeah.
click on pricing, and it says, schedule an appointment to talk to one of our salespeople.
Yeah.
WTF? So,
Yeah.
to immediately the first thought for small businesses is, oh, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have time. It's completely counterintuitive to the market research that's been done. I don't get it. The only thing that I can think of is that their investors have said, we want you to start selling enterprise accounts. Whether
Hmm.
they're ready for enterprise or not, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so we don't want you to publish pricing so that you can negotiate on the fly and
Yeah.
charge what the traffic will bear. Um, I just that's a pet peeve. So our pricing is published and it's really simple.
Good. That's good. That's good. Well, Lydia, I have really enjoyed this conversation. I mean, you got some great insights. I mean, this has been an amazing conversation. I'm glad you decided to go ahead and appear on the Imperfect Action live stream and share your moments of imperfect action because you know what? Here's the reality. I've seen too many people, they say, "Hey, I just need the perfect time to act." And spoiler alert, people, there is no such thing as the perfect time that exists in this life. And even if how you describe that perfect time were to present itself to you, you would negotiate your way out of taking action. Just take the damn action. Just do something about it. Quit thinking. Overthinking is the enemy of action. If you have something burning inside of you, take the action. That's how I help you out. I get you in action. I get you out of the rut of your life. If you're spending too much time in your rut, what you have to realize is the only difference between a rut and a grave is its depth and its dimension. So whatever you have burning inside fire of you, don't take it to the grave with you. So, Lydia, you got any
Just
parting
do it.
wisdom? Just do it. Do you got any parting wisdom
Just do
before we
it.
call it a day here?
Good enough is good enough. You know, after 16 years in Silicon Valley with startups, it's like just launch it already. Just ship it. Build
Yeah.
something and ship it, and people will tell you how to fix it and or
Hmm.
tell you what else they want. Just fucking do it.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. I agree. I agree. You couldn't have said it any better. With that, we bring it close to another Imperfect Action live stream. I thank everybody who stopped by and participated. And those,
Oh no, you froze.
oh my goodness, so we're getting some weather rolling through here again. My screen keeps popping off. Schedule a call with, get on her account, schedule to talk with her because she can certainly help you out. But hey, let's make this a great Wednesday. Summer solstice, the longest day of the year is coming fast. Let's make that a great day as well. Peace out, everybody.